I look like I'm chasing this girl down with an axe. Maybe I should put the axe away. So little sus looking. Yeah. I want to start off this video by saying I did play a little bit of their first game called My Time at Portia, but I did not end up playing very much of it because I had bought that game on the Switch. Simply because as I've gotten older, I now have these like handheld consoles and everything. I really prefer my like life sim, farming sim. I really like having them on handheld devices, whether it have been, you know, my Switch or my 3DS or something. Just because with those games, I really like to be able to just pick it up and play whenever, because a lot of the times in those games, and My Time at Sandrock that we're talking about today is no exception, there's a lot of busy work, which isn't inherently a bad thing, but it's just like, I like to, you know, just maybe be watching a show or just some YouTube or something I'm not that interested in, just as background noise. Because, you know, or like I want to be able to be laying in bed and doing this kind of busy work, and I don't always want, you know, first world problems, but I don't really want to carry my PlayStation up and forth from downstairs. So I did with My Time at Portia buy it on the Switch, but I ended up not even keeping that game because I will tell you, it was optimized horribly and did not play at all, so I do not have a ton of experience with their first game. I'm honestly considering maybe going back and buying that game, and this time just getting a PlayStation copy instead of on the Switch, because I guess there are a lot of like features, and like the game overall is good. It's just definitely don't buy it on the Switch. But My Time at Sandrock, I would say, and a lot of people have said even, that there's definite improvements from My Time at Portia. Now this game, it is not a farming simulator. There is some farming stuff into it, but I'm not gonna lie, I never really got into the farming with this game. Like, I didn't even talk to the person I needed to in order to start the farming, just because I was like, this game is way more focused because your character is like a builder, so you're way more focused on like building things, and you know, you go around and gather like scraps of wood and rock and stuff like that. So you're going around gathering that from either just like the land around you or in the ruins or whatever, and in order to obviously, you know, make money and then increase your workshop level / reputation, so that way you can make it bigger and make your house bigger and everything, you have to focus on building. You have to do these things called commissions, where you either go to like the commission board in the committee, like the guild, and you get the work from there, or, you know, people just have the little quest marker like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. But going back to just the kind of basics of the story, you are moving out here on your own for the first time as a builder, with your license and everything, just starting a life in Sandrock. There definitely is a lot of narrative story in this game, because there's a whole bunch of, you know, talking about like the before time, and there was, I think it's called like the dark days, where people, I guess, were trapped underground, and I believe all this story building and everything does also happen in My Time at Portia, because there are a few references to Portia in this game. So I do believe like all the games, because they also have another one coming out called My Time at Evershine. Looking forward to that one, not gonna lie, definitely gonna check it out. But I do believe they're all like connected and in the same universe. Definitely don't need to have played My Time at Portia, because it's just they're in the same universe. It's not like this is a game where it's direct sequels or anything. Just wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, you're moving to this town. There's one of the first big things you see is there is this outlaw named Logan, and the thing is, any crimes he's committed, he doesn't actually hurt anybody. So, like, the local authorities kind of have a hard time pinning anything on him. because he's just being more of like a nuisance. He doesn't actually hurt anybody, so they're like, you can tell it's this bit of struggle to be like, well, crap, what do we charge him with then? Because like, he's just more being a nuisance, like breaking a window on a train. Like, he didn't steal anything from anybody or hurt anybody. He just inconvenienced by breaking the window on the train, and like, we had to fix the train. Like, it's more like these minor inconveniences, you know, like when someone is just wishing something very uncomfortable on you, like, I hope you have a sock on and you like step in a wet puddle on your floor, because nobody likes that. It's more just stuff like that than anything actually serious, which is kind of funny, admittedly. But you're in this town as a builder, and of course there are numerous people to meet. There are plenty of romance options, whether it be a guy, girl, whatever. And it's not terribly difficult to build up friendship / like relationship with people. And now my time at Sandrock works also like another game that I had just talked about, Story of Seasons, It's a Wonderful Life, where events just kind of randomly happen. Now some stuff, it's like story events, because it takes like a picture in your album for it. And so some of them are story events that they're just going to happen as you progress like through the main game. But there's other stuff of things that happen, you know, with particular characters. And I don't know fully, but I do believe that stuff is based off of like your relationship levels and how much you're talking with the characters and everything. There's probably a guide on, I'm sure, how to make the story events happen, but when I'm playing a game for the first time, I try not to look up guides, especially when it's a game like this of like just figuring out, you know, choices and stuff. I don't like to look up a guide. Yeah, going back to the main mechanic of building, it's pretty simple, although I would say, you know, pretty fleshed out. Of course, you have your main work table where you can make stuff, but then you also have to make like bigger machinery for some stuff. Like you have a furnace where you can, you know, make bricks and certain things like that. And you have like a saw work table where you can make like hardwood boards and stuff like that. So sometimes you may have to make, like, as the main story's progressing, you have to make a bigger piece of equipment in order to get all the materials you need. And now on this, I will call myself the dumb one, because I'm not gonna lie, I was very frustrated with this game in the beginning when I was trying to build stuff, because it would show you the page and like it would show you, it was just a lot of pictures, and I don't know, I was paying attention, but it's not really something that needed to be explained. But I was feeling so confused because I'm like, I don't know where to get all this stuff. And then, you know, I finally just decided to move the left joystick and realized you can hover over, like, okay, hover over this item and then it'll tell you where you can get it. And then it will also show like a tree of, okay, you need bricks to build this. So then go back in the diagram and you will see you need stones in order to make bricks. And it will even tell you the number of stones you need. Like, oh, you need 26 stones and you need 4 bricks. So it does lay it out very simple. I was just very stupid, and I don't know why it took me so long to notice it, that was a thing. Like I said, I'm gonna say that one's on me, because it is made pretty clear and easy as to figure out where stuff is that you need. Like, it's hand-holding without hand-holding in an obnoxious way. Like, it's very helpful in the beginning of the game, but it's very easy to ignore and not even have to bother with if, you know, once you've been playing the game for a while, if you start remembering where stuff is, like, it's not gonna be in your way, but then the tutorial is always there, kind of, if you need it. Like, if it's been a while and you're like, oh crap, I don't remember where I can get this, you can easily hover over it and figure out where it is. Like, it's really nice like that. Like, the help is always there if you want or need it, but it's not gonna be annoying and in your way and you're having to like skip through stuff, and it's not even really like difficult to go dig and find it. Like, if you're like, okay, this is the stuff I need, it's all gonna be there for you to be able to figure out where the items are you need. Like, it's very nice and clean like that. Something I definitely really liked about that. The character customization also, it is pretty good. It's pretty in-depth. And this game actually, I don't know why you would choose to turn off the voice acting, but you can. So that's another thing. And it is like not every single line is voiced, but the majority of the game, there are voice lines. So, you know, that's something that is really nice. Obviously, for holidays, they don't go off of real world holidays per se. They kind of make them in-game. Like, in summer, there's like a kind of like a mix of Halloween and Day of the Dead almost, I would say, in like Mexican culture. But it's, you know, something different. And they make it so you can kind of tell what the holiday is supposed to be. Like I said, it's kind of like the Halloween, but it's in summer, and there's like a reason they do it, because it's to remember the people before the dark time, which is the dark time is when they were all trapped underground. So it's to remember the people then who, you know, had to suffer through all that, and now you're living in this world where everybody's above ground again, and you're all starting to thrive. So there's cool stuff like that, of not just, you know, completely ripping off holidays, but just kind of making it their own and fit into the universe. And there is also like items you can buy for the holiday, and there's even events you can participate in. Like, for instance, the Halloween one, there's a like ghost catching game where for the first round, I think you're always playing as the ghost hunter, and you have to find the ghost, and then you switch sides and you're the ghost trying to hide. Like it's pretty fun. I enjoyed my time with it. Like, it was a fairly basic mini game, but it was fun, broke up the monotony. A lot of stuff, and the stuff like that, it really makes it feel like the world is real and lived in, and like there's even more out there than just the little town you're in. Because even like you'll get notes from like letters from your mom and your best friend, and you can reply to some of these letters and they'll send you stuff. And like just the way, and the fact that, like I said, they do mention Portia, so it's all connected in this universe. It really makes it feel like a really fleshed out world. I'm saying really a lot. I need to find a different word, but it makes it feel like a fleshed out, well thought out universe for, you know, just being a basic kind of life sim game. So I really appreciated that. I will say with this game, I had no issues with any lag or frame rate drops or anything. I was playing on a PS5 because that's the console I have, and obviously it was a PS5 copy. So I know even like, but honestly, this game, I would definitely recommend checking it out if you do enjoy life sims. Like I said, the farming, I can't go much off of that, just because with the whole building aspect and the fact that that's kind of the more main thing of what you're focused on, because health and stamina, like, they're easy enough to recover with food you can just buy from like the Blue Moon Saloon. And if you're doing enough commissions and everything anyway, and like talking to people around town and getting those quests, which if you're needing the stamina and whatnot, you're probably doing all that stuff. Like, it ends up not being very difficult to, like, you know, have the money to spend and make that happen and still have plenty of money. Like, the money comes in pretty easy. And there is a point too, I don't know if it's just because I was on the path of befriending and romancing Owen, who is the saloon owner, but he did give me like a $5,000 loan, 5,000 like gold, whatever, or 3,000 or 5,000. And that made it super easy, because then I did some return investment, and if you go and talk to him, he doesn't even want the loan back. Like I said, I don't know if maybe that is locked behind romancing slash befriending, but honestly, it's very easy to befriend people without having to go down like the romancing path. So it can definitely be worth it to just befriend and like become BFFs and everything, because if you look even in the social links, it'll show you benefits to befriending people and everything. So it's definitely worth it to talk to and like invest in the people around town, and there could be some pretty interesting people. Like I said, it's a huge cast of characters, and even like a pretty big cast to choose from for like romancing options if you are concerned about that. But there's a lot of, you're kind of more, you would get the stereotype. There's like the nerdy guy, there's, the more quiet, shy type, there's the like outgoing reporter guy, there's, the kind of tomboyish girl. Like there's a lot of that, but I would say they're still all most of them are fairly memorable characters. And I feel like there's somebody for everybody to either get behind when it comes to being friends or romancing. And they'll even have like link trees of like, if they're friends or something with somebody else, like when you're trying to romance Owen and everything, for instance, you also get points with Justice and why can't I remember her name? I feel terrible. But the person who's working under him as an apprentice, I don't know why I can't remember her name, but you get points with them too because they are linked to him as being like friends with him and everything. So, depending on who you're befriending, it can also just add up to points with other people because they'll like the fact that, oh, you're being nice to my buddy here, so I like you too. It's like we're on good terms too. So that is also something I find kind of interesting, because most games I've seen like this, it usually is just when you're befriending and whatnot, it sticks to just the person you're talking to. It doesn't branch out to other characters. So I find that kind of interesting and cool. It's not a huge thing, but it helps make the game stand out. But anyway, I honestly would highly recommend this one. I might go back and buy My Time at Portia and give that one a try. And like I said, just do it on a PlayStation. I'm definitely looking forward to their next game, My Time at Evershine. But anyway, that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, hit that like button. Leave a comment on maybe if you like My Time at Sandrock or even My Time at Portia and who your favorite characters are. If you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I try to upload every Friday, but at this point in time, we are in a season of life where sometimes stuff is just getting away from me and I can't always have the game to completion for that Friday, and I don't really want to, especially if it's like a story narrative game, I don't want to only finish half of it or like the first couple hours and then try to give a review on it, That's not really what I want to do. I want to try to have the full game beat, so I try to upload every Friday, but it's not always a guarantee that's going to happen. But my social media is all linked down below: Twitter, Instagram, my second channel, which I do some vlogging on. I'm not super active. I'm trying to get better about that. My Twitch is linked down below. I don't know when, but I do really want to get back into streaming. Like, I miss it. I enjoy it, but I'm just in a point of life right now where it's very busy. We're not, going into specifics, but it's just a little more difficult. But I do want to get back to it. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!